There are 1,605 properties for sale right now, 843 under contract properties, and we've had 511 sales for the month of September so far. The number of properties for sale on the market at any given time has been slowly rising, while the number of under contract properties and sale properties has been slowly falling. So at any given time in the last several months, we had, well, in the past month, we had 1,500-ish properties at any given time. And then for like the last 3 months before that, we had about 1,400-ish properties on the market at any given time. And before that, it was about 1,100, 1,000. And so that number, the amount of listings, has been slowly rising. And we're at the most that we've been in a while, but again, that's in the 1,600-ish numbers, and it's still low. That's not a lot of inventory, but it is creeping up. For the month of September, the average sales price here in Colorado Springs is $508,798. The median sales price is at $460,000 right now. Compare that to last month in August, where the median sales price was $440,000 and the average sales price was just over $511,000. So a little bit different from month to month, but compare what's going on now with average and median sales prices with what happened a year ago. September 2022, we had an average sales price of just over $482,000. Compare that to almost $509,000 now. And the median sales price last September was $435,000. Compare that to today's $460,000. So that in and of itself doesn't tell you a whole lot, but when you look at the numbers for the whole year of 2023 and the whole year of 2022, if you just look at the past in general, you're going to see that we have those seasonal high points during the summer and the low points during the winter. So prices are going to continue to drop from here to the end of the year, and I'm expecting prices to come down about 5%. From here to the end of the year. So imagine a $500,000 house is going to be worth $475,000 by December. So if you're looking at the beginning of January 2022, the average sales price was $480,000, and the median sales price was just over $430,000. And so prices started to come up from that point to where we reached a high point at about, well, for the average and the median, it differs a little bit. From anywhere from April to July of 2022, we hit the high point in prices. So the high point in July was $525,495. And then the high point for the median was in April at $472,500. And we came down from there. We hit a low point in about December, and now we've come back up again to where home prices are almost as high as they were at their high point of last year. And they're going to come back down just a little bit, but I'm expecting home prices to just shoot right back up next year, because you're going to have all that extra demand from spring and summer from buyers. Plus you're going to have interest rates likely dropping, and people are talking about them dropping from anywhere down to 6.5% to maybe even 5.5%. I don't believe any of that, and neither should you, because what's the Fed said that they're going to do? Right now, rates are between 7.3 and 7.5, somewhere in there, according to who you talk to. There's Mortgage News Daily and Optimal Blue. But the rates are continually high because although the Fed has put a pause on things to see what happens with the economy and the job market, to my understanding, they are still going to be raising the basis points one more time before the end of the year. And then they're just going to wait. They're going to hold it. They're not going to start dropping points until they've had enough time to collect data. So that's going to sit there for a while. Meanwhile, the banks have an extra point spread, which is the big part of why interest rates are high right now. And the reason they have that spread is either because they fear a recession or they fear that the Fed is going to induce one. But either way, they're still concerned. So until the bank speculating concern goes away, these are the interest rates that we've got to deal with. And just to give you an idea, the average priced home here in Colorado Springs, including taxes and fees, if you want to be able to afford that, the monthly payment for such a house, and again, that average priced house is going to be 510, 511,000-ish. Your monthly payment is going to be $4,247 per month. So that's quite a bit. And to afford that purchase budget of just under $509,000, you're going to have to make at least $150,000 a year total household in order to pay for that mortgage payment. Currently, the average days on market for homes is 36 days, median is 15 days. So it's taking 2 weeks to a little over a month to sell property here in Colorado Springs. As we get into fall and winter, that number of days on market is going to start coming up a bit more. Last year, between now and the end of the year, it took between 30 and 40 days on average for homes to go under contract. And then between January and March of this year, it took between 40 and 50 days to sell. So it's not unreasonable to assume that homes could take up to 2 months to sell here at the end of the year. So if you've got property here and you're thinking of selling it, if you can wait, I would say wait until next year, spring, summer 2024. You could sell it now for sure. Just know what the market conditions are, and now you do. And if you can afford to wait to sell it, you're going to get more demand next year, and there's a chance that the interest rates come down a little bit next year because they're not coming down this year. If you are considering purchasing property, I would say now is actually a really good time to do it because your competition is low. Yeah, I get that it's low because everybody got priced out because it's so expensive to get a loan now. If you can still afford the loan, you don't have the competition. So while your interest rate is higher, you are not worried so much now about multiple offers and overbidding and having to forego things on the property that you're purchasing just because the competition is stiff. No competition now. And if interest rates drop, then you get to refinance. However, if you wait to buy until next year, you're going to have everybody else who's starting to look again spring and summer. And yeah, if the interest rates drop, that's good for you, but that's good for so many other people too. So now it's harder for you to get that house you want versus if you bought it now and refinanced later. As for the city of Colorado Springs, it continues to grow. Demand continues to be here. You've heard about Space Force permanently being stationed here, right? You know that all these tech companies are continuing to pour money into adding on employees and distribution centers and warehouses here. You know, Amazon is preparing to hire another 1,300 people in Colorado Springs just for their distribution. You know all that, right? You know, we've got 5+ military installations. You know, 40+% of our income, of the city's income, comes from the military. Is the military getting defunded anytime soon? If the government has a shutdown, you know what still functions? The military. You know who can still buy stuff in a government shutdown? The military. I'm not worried about the demand of Colorado Springs. And like I said, we have had 511 sales and counting for September so far. And that's not a lot. I'm expecting us to get to maybe 600-ish by the end of the year, or the end of the month. And for a reference, we've had anywhere from between maybe like 500 to 900 sales on any given month since October of last year. And then before that, we had a few more sales. So sales were more like in the thousands, the 1200s during summertime last year. And now that the interest rates have risen so dramatically as to be, you know, almost a $4,300 a month payment, it's really unaffordable for quite a number of people unless you have more money. Now, what's happening? Who's actually buying in this market in Colorado Springs? So like what percentage of everything, of all sales, are cash? What percentage is VA or conventional financing? Here we go. So conventional, like today, the numbers are 41% of all home sales here, all property sales here are conventional financing. 12% of those are FHA financing, 23% VA. You've got 16% cash. and 8% other. Now, 16% cash. That means that only about a fifth of all people purchasing property are doing it with cash. So when people think of investors doing a lot of property purchases here, not a lot. Yes, it's definitely happening, but it is not the huge amount of home purchases that some people think. And then that 8% other, I mean, that can cover things like USDA loans or maybe DSCR loans, just things that are a little bit more less common. That is the wonderful world of real estate and the housing market here in Colorado Springs. If you have any questions on it, please reach out to me. My name is Kevin James Bond with RE/MAX Real Estate Group. I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Colorado. I work primarily here in the Colorado Springs area. If you have any properties that you are interested in selling, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.